Good morning. It says one person. So good morning, one person. Now it says 25 people. Good morning, 25 beautiful souls. Welcome to Bajerski Live. Beautiful day. It was raining last night. Thunder was incredible. Mother Nature, the cosmos, the universe, that natural process which they're making us all scared of. Any kind of hint of a change in temperature, whether it's half a degree, they want you to be scared. They want you to be scared. Yeah. Did you know many hundreds of years ago there's recorded information that in Yorkshire we actually grew grapes and we made wine? And the thunder was incredible last night. The lightning was just incredible. I used to have a little doggy called Dennis. Dennis used to be so frightened of the thunder and lightning, he used to shake. Now I've got a little, Dennis was a schnauzer, and yeah, bless him. It was a little bit different from the other 8 puppies that Daisy had. We had Daisy, which was our first schnauzer, and she got pregnant. And she had a litter of 8. Fabulous story, really. And Dennis was the only one out of the litter of 8 that would follow my ex-wife when we were married then, Susie. Follow her everywhere. Not the mum, not Daisy. Follow Daisy, just Susie, everywhere. And because of that, it's difficult in a day to not watch where you're going all the time. And she stood on Dennis's head, and he was only tiny. And we rushed to the vets, and they had a look and they checked him and said, well, we'll just keep an eye on him. And she was devastated, but he kind of recovered. And then one day she was shutting the doors, the sliding doors, and his head got trapped in it. Bless him. So that's the second boom. Rushed to the vets, and is he okay? And he ended up a little bit not the same as the rest of them, of course, slightly different, but in a way that you couldn't imagine, because he all his faculties were there. He was just obsessed by Susie. And even to this day, I still believe that they were some kind of bond that can't be explained, because all the other dogs were just playing around, but this one, Dennis would just like glued to her and followed her everywhere. And we sold the first puppy. We made sure that we wanted them to go to good homes, of course, and they were expensive at the time. To buy a schnauzer then, you'd be paying $700-800. So we sold all of them for, I think, $700 each, something like that. That paid for some of the damage in the house that they caused, and there was a lot of damage. And then we sold the second one. Then the third and fourth together, Poppy and I can't remember all the names. And then eventually, it came down to the last one, and this lady came, and Susie's saying to this lady, "Oh, there's a problem with little Dennis. He's been squashed, and he's not altogether there." And I could see that was making the woman who wanted Dennis even more. She wanted him even more. That wasn't working, and I could read by the energy of Susie. I turned around and said to this lady, "Look, I think I'm really sorry, but I don't think we're going to get rid of Dennis. We're going to keep him." And Susie was so happy. So Daisy and Dennis came together. Point being of the moral of the story is that Dennis was a sensitive, and he used to sit and look at Susie in the seat, just look in her eyes constantly. And it was a bond that can't be described or understood. I didn't understand it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was really beautiful. That bond was incredible. The point being, I think when we're sensitive, heightenedly sensitive, whether it was the standing on the head or whether he was sensitive anyway, he felt feelings. He was such a feeling dog. And I think a lot of you guys who are watching this now, I think there's something in the fact that we resonate to certain people. We feel people and we feel their energy and we feel them. And because there is some kind of recognition to that sensitivity, that we don't listen to politicians because there's no sensitivity. It's just brain dead morons just filled with ego. But when you can feel somebody speaking from the heart and they're sensitive and they feel, just like Dennis, when the thunder and lightning came, he felt it and he was sensitive to it. Just like you're sensitive to people, you're sensitive to energy, you're sensitive to something that can't be seen, but you just know it's an inner knowing of this deep, beautiful, powerful gift. It's a gift. Of course it's a gift. It's the biggest gift in the world because it's kept us sane. It's kept us... It has kept us sane. You know, there's just... We complain, a lot of us, right? Because we're sensitive. We complain a lot. We do complain. We get upset and we all... But we're still here. And we talk about being sensitive, and yet, you know, the sensitive normally, you know, kill themselves. I actually see, and I've seen and experienced more grown men and women who have no sensitivity at all, and that I hear of, kill themselves. It's not the sensitives predominantly who kill themselves, I don't think. They might want to do bad things to themselves, like hurt themselves or, you know, cut themselves or whatever it may be, but never actually kill themselves, because it's more of a cry for help. Whereas those people who ain't sensitive, they don't see further than, okay, I've lost my job, lost my wife, might as well die, and kill themselves. There's no sensitivity there. There's no understanding or anything. So I think it keeps us here and it keeps us going, that sensitivity. And I think it's a gift. And I think it's kept us from doing wrong to ourselves via a push by the most evil cartel globally called Big Pharma, joined together at the hip with government all over the world, and all of those World Economic Forums and World Health Organizations, all under the disguise of one giant mafia that's plain and simple there to cull the world and cause as much damage and pain and suffering and fear every single moment of the day. But we recognize that, and what we fear, what we feel, the emotions we feel, is because we recognize that. Not many people recognize that, guys. That's why they queue up for an injection, because they're told what to do. Because they don't have that sensitivity you have. They don't have that gift of seeing and feeling. So the next time you get upset with yourself and think, why am I like this? Just stop for a moment and realize that what a gift you have. Out of the billions of people who don't have that gift, I'm sorry, they don't. Be proud, because you are the front line that's keeping this world from going in complete and utter darkness. And I'm proud of you, all of you. Look in my eyes. Proud of you. You're doing great. Even though we get upset and we feel bad and feel shit because we know what's happening all the time and there's not much we can do, and we feel helpless and lonely. These are all special gifts that we should recognize. That's what makes you special and who you are. That is the great gift that you hold. That is the magic. That is the wizard. That is the magician that's within you. They're your gifts. And your gifts just show you the world. So be proud of your gifts. Because you're amazing. So now you know that, what you're going to do. How are you going to change things? How do we change things? I'm looking at you, but I'm also looking at myself through this screen. You know, some of the most amazing truth bomb moments are when we just simply speak our truth, how we feel. Within the truth of sharing the experience and your emotion and everything that comes from moment to moment, we call it channeling. It's good. It's good to channel. It's good to speak your truth. It's good to release. Because this section here, this throat, this voice, was given to you for a reason. And a lot of people don't use it. Some people use it too much. And normally there's gremlins or negative energy or trauma or even attachment sometimes. So you have to be careful sometimes. You have to understand that when people are talking, and some people just continually talk and they're draining you as they're speaking, that's a lot of the times because they have negative energy or an attachment or demonic energy that is working, is feeding from them, is using them. Politicians is one. Bill Gates is another. These people have all been basically hijacked. And that doesn't give them a get out of jail free, because they have to be part of that energy to allow that energy. So they are involved in this. They've opened themselves up for it. It's part of their acceptance. They can choose at any given moment to say no. So it's a feeding of two, the entity and the spacesuit. The consciousness normally is nil and void. An ego has taken over, or trauma. So let's say Billy Boy was punched and kicked and mocked and ridiculed at school. That's going to cause great trauma, and that trauma then can turn out to be spiteful, vengeful, almost to the point where everything that you do is almost getting back at what the pain and suffering that you went through. I don't think a cake in Gates from Hell's face was the point where he wanted to cause the greatest harm to humanity. I think his whole intention, he's never grown up as a child. He's still stuck in the body of the child. That's why he sways a lot. And that swaying is also a sure sign of attachment. Not having control of your body and not knowing what you're doing, but still the brain is fully functioning with the attachment to him, and he's definitely got huge attachments. So evil, normally when you have attachments, it's to cause as much harm as possible. His thoughts are normally, I can tell you this because of clients, the thoughts are never positive, they're always negative. His thoughts will be always how he can cheat, how he can be a devious crook, and that's a great energy for, let's say, an attachment. It feeds from that. It's a very interesting subject, and there's lots of ways you can see that somebody has attachments. And normally it's because they're very unbalanced, really unbalanced. So some people can not say a bloody word, not even speak. And you think, that's strange, that's not balanced. Some people can speak too much, go on and on and on. Sometimes their energy just speaks for themselves, like, this doesn't feel right, this person doesn't feel right, something feels cold, something feels calculated. That is normally an attachment as well. There's so many reasons. And it's really interesting because the amount of people who came to me that had a full healing session and then left and said that they've never felt better in their life, and I don't know what it is, but I just feel different now. I just don't feel like this. And there's so many reasons. It might not be attachment. It could be, mine was soul retrieval. So part of my soul in a past life was left behind because of such a trauma. And it was brought back. So I felt peace. I felt like I didn't need to be anybody or try to prove myself to anybody. And I'd spent my whole life trying to prove and make people happy, and always my purpose of life was just to make everybody else happy. And when this soul retrieval happened to me by Shirley, like, you can't explain it, because that what you were is no longer. And of course you've got to get to grips with that. You've got to now change the whole of your life to adapt to this new version of yourself, this new completeness of yourself. And some people can struggle with that. You know, I used to give people healing sessions, and sometimes they'd struggle because they would change that much that they had to now adapt. And they normally did. 9 times out of 10, they normally adapted to the, you know, to the more beautiful self that they are. Because a lot of people, you know, spend their life in misery, spend their life in negativity, spend their life in hate, in opinionated and judgment and not trusting. And when you have a healing session, that can clear away, that energy can clear away. So now you're going to have to start thinking nice thoughts, and now you're going to have to change your way, you know, and not revert back to that energy of being, because it doesn't feel right anymore. Hang on a minute, I don't like taking drugs, I don't like drinking alcohol, I don't need to be nice to people. Okay, so what are you going to do now? Freaking hell. Well, maybe I need to change and see what I need to do, what's good for me now. So a healing session can be really profound, whether it be whatever healing session. It doesn't matter, but I think it's good to have healing sessions in all shape and form. It's really good. As long as you've got a good healer, somebody who has good intention, the Pure Energy Healing Academy and all the healers there, predominantly if they eat correctly, look after themselves, take care of themselves, good intention, love and kind, you're normally going to get a good healing session. Some people fall, some healers fall, as we all do, no matter what you're, whether you're a Reiki master, whether you're, you know, whatever. People fall from whatever their energy is. It happens. It's called life. But if you get a healer who's full on, full energy, full happiness, joy. I used to smile all the time when I was a healer. I was so happy. Like, you know, imagine finding yourself, because the soul retrieval was the next step to becoming a healer, which I didn't know. Incredible. So go for a healing session today, and if you click on the Pure Energy Healing Academy, www.pureenergyhealingacademy or PEH academy.com, and then you'll see Find a Healer. Click on Find a Healer, scroll down, choose a healer and ring them, give them a call or email them and say, look, do you know what, I fancy a healing session. Have a healing session. You'll be surprised. Absolute healing. They don't need to come to your house. You might find one near where you live because they're all over the world, but you don't need to have them come to your house. Some of my best healing sessions were online, on Skype. In fact, when the final 6 months of me doing healing work, I was fully booked for months and months. and most of them were online. And some of the best healing sessions were online. Just, yeah, incredible. Can't imagine it. Oh, one-to-ones are much better. Not always. It's amazing, but not always. So I don't know what you guys are doing today. I might be nipping down to Porto Banús because there is a conference, a yoga conference. So I might nip down there and say hello, see what's going on. Just to walk around and see the yoga gurus and what's going on. And then tomorrow at 8 o'clock Spain time, I'll be giving you all a one-to-one healing session, a personal healing session. So you just sit in front of the YouTube live and let me just do my work. So maybe you don't need to go to the Pure Energy Healing Academy if you can't afford. If you can afford, then yeah, I mean, it's always good to support healers. They don't get enough support these days, and they do so much work free of charge. But yeah, if you can't afford and you are not feeling well, you're feeling not yourself, or whatever it is, you don't feel spiritually strong, then come along. And I promise you I'll do my best for 1 hour on Sunday on live on YouTube, from my heart to yours. I'm feeling strong, actually. I'm feeling great. A lot of people misinterpret me when I make videos pointing out truth and truthers and hijacking and all the negative things that I think are a very positive thing in the end, to keep people in the know, in truth. I mean, it might not be truth, it's my truth, but it just gives you another way of thinking. If the government had their own way, they would take away all your thoughts and simply own everything that you are and everything that you say and everything that you think, which is coming, by the way. It is coming. I said this 10 years ago. Eventually it will be that your thoughts will not be your own, and every single thought that you have will belong to this darkness that surrounds itself by labels, governments, World Health Organization. Anybody who tries to tell you what to do is basically part of darkness. Anybody who tells you to fear, anybody who tells you what you can and can't do, is basically part of darkness. Anybody who says do what you feel is best, do what you feel is right, be truthful, be open, be honest, share whatever you feel, it's okay, it's fine, but just do no harm. That's all. Just do no harm. It's really simple. You know, I love conversation, and I love people who have ways of seeing things that I don't see. And sometimes I miss things and think, shit, I didn't realize that. You're right. I love that. That I love. I love debate. I love discussion, because it really helps you think differently and see differently. And you know, you can't see everything. But that's why groupthink sometimes is beautiful. Spiritual groupthink is lovely. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, we did one yesterday, the Pure Energy Healing Academy. We came together, all the staff, and some great suggestions. I like buzzing from it. But there's a difference, and when I talk about the difference, I talk about those who attack, who mock and ridicule, who pull you down to make you look stupid or try to. These are the people that I don't want in my life. Get out, go away. You are a disgusting human being. Go away, just get off. And I share this a lot. I say, you know, and why I do that is to make you stronger, to get rid of these people, because I spent 38 years in the company of these people, trying to fit into that energy, trying to adapt myself into that energy. And then I realized when I was 38, this is bullshit. This isn't reality. This isn't life. This isn't what I signed up for. And that's when I left all that bullshit behind and started again. And the people that I wanted in my life were the people who loved and respected me for who I am. Hey, I don't care what you do, who you are. I respect you as a soul, and I love you for that person. Okay, that person I want in my life, so I can love them back for who they are. I don't want to be around people who are just critically having a go because they don't like my thoughts, my ways, my actions. So they want to try and change me so then they feel more comfortable in their selfishness. No chance. Selfish, out of here. Get yourself out of here. That is too low. I've moved too high for that. I have worked too hard to be pulled back down by somebody who is totally spiritualless, no understanding, no empathy, I just don't want to be in that company anymore. I don't want to listen to the words that come out of these people's mouths. They have no understanding. All they do is moan and get upset and get angry. Don't want that anymore. I want to move on from that. I've been there, done it, don't want it anymore. And I'm certainly not going back into that energy, because as soon as you step into that person's energy, you go back to that energy. And it's hard to raise above that energy, especially when somebody doesn't even know who they are and what they're saying. You can recognize it because you've been there, but they can't recognize you because they're not you and they haven't been where you are. And they can't because they're at a low frequency. So it is challenging. And that's why sometimes it's like when people come to me and say, why can't he understand? You know, why doesn't he see the way I am? Look, you know, I've changed so much and he's still the same person. Well, you know, why can't he see? And I said, you know, just take yourself over to that brick wall there and smash your head against there, because that's what you're doing. And if you think you're going to change this person, just keep smashing your head against the wall, because that's all you're doing. How can you possibly understand this person when they don't understand themselves? How can you change somebody when they don't even understand themselves? So let people be and find a place where you have happiness and joy. And it's important to choose your friends and the people around you wisely. That's a gift. Remember, we revert back to you being a gifted soul who can feel. You are an empath. That is a gift. It isn't a burden. The burden is because you want to fit in to these people's world. No. That's not how it's meant to be. The gift you were given is to see that you are not meant to fit into these people's world anymore. You are your own gift. You find your own path, your own friends, and the gift that we have should lead us to what we feel we want, not to fit into other people's world. That's not our world. We're different. You're different. So respect that, honor that, and follow that path. And when you do, it's funny how the spirit world say, hey, she's ready now, or he's ready now. Now we can help them. Now we can guide them in the way, because they're now true to what they believe. Okay, I've made that decision. I've made that commitment. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. I am going to do this. Okay, the spirit world says she's ready now. She's ready now. She's gone through it all. She now has made the commitment and said she recognizes what she needs to do. Now we're going to help her. And they can only help you when you recognize where you want to move forward in the frequency and energy and the people and the life that you want to lead. Anyway, enough waffle for today. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I hope this was a little bit of food for thought. I hope I haven't upset anybody. But if I have, sometimes being upset, it's a great thing to look at yourself why you're upset and what triggered you from whatever came out of my mouth. And also what made you happy, because, you know, there might be something that makes you happy or something that makes you, wow, like, oh, I never thought of that. Listen to that, what triggers within you, because that's your gift and that's your path and that's your purpose. Have a great day. Bye, guys.